1959's House on Haunted Hill is a mystery ghost horror movie, even though I would say the original is leaning a little bit towards more mystery betrayal horror. We find a man and his wife that invite 5 guests to stay at their house for $10,000 a piece. Set with the narrative that the house is haunted by ghosts, our host tells his guests that if they can survive the night in his house, they'll be walking out with $10,000. And as the night progresses, things become a little spooky in the House on Haunted Hill. And while our guests are trying to survive, our host and wife are basically trying to get rid of each other. With a nice little plot twist at the end. You must watch to find out who survives the House on Haunted Hill. So, my review of 1959's House on Haunted Hill. So, this movie was in black and white, which I don't mind. 1959 was a special time because people are willing to risk their life for $10,000. Holy shit, $10,000 was a lot back then. That is just a crazy thought. The legendary Vincent Price was in it. He was the main host. He's a very good actor, what can I say? The air quote, practical effects in this movie, yeah, it's crazy to think how things have progressed. Even with like 1970 horror, just in like 10, 15 years, the whole genre made leaps and bounds forward. That's always cool to watch when you watch these old horror movies. And because practical effects were so limited, these movies had to be massively carried by their actors and writing. And the story was pretty well written. I mean, this spawned a remake that's super good. It's very, very well written. And I enjoyed the plot twist in the end. I mean, this is a 1959 movie, so you got to take that in consideration. Like, it's very well written. And I kind of always wondered what it would be like to show somebody from like 1950s, like one of our scariest movies ever. Like, I bet they would just shit their pants because like this was considered a scary movie back then. And I mean, just off of the cover of the VHS you see in the bottom left, it's like this old lady floating. That's supposed to be the jump scare. Like, man, they would just, their minds would explode if they seen some of the stuff we came up with these days. So with all of that, my rating for 1959's House on Haunted Hill. Now, honestly, this is a tough one because it's such an old movie, and even though it's good, they kind of don't hold up because of just how far horror has come. So watching it, it's like, I respect its legacy. I enjoyed it, but I can't give it at least any more than a 5. And to be honest, the only reason I would rate it a 5 is legacy. Besides that, I would probably rate it a 4. It's a movie, if you like horror, you should 100% watch these old classic movies. But from a general audience standpoint, they're not going to enjoy this movie like I did. Now, Rotten Tomatoes is rating this at almost 80%, which is ridiculous, because they're out here rating classic movies like The Happening at 18%, which don't even make no sense. So, yeah, ratings, they're biased, but even your casual horror movie enjoyers aren't gonna like this. And honestly, that's probably going to go for 95% of all super old horror movies because they're just outdated. And yeah, they're legacy movies, but they don't hold up anymore.